Black power. Black power. Round 2, electric boogaloo.
I disavow. I don't think Count Dankula, or how the press calls him, Nichan, needs any sort of introduction. But for those of you who have been living under a rock, maybe you subscribe to this channel for the first time, he got in trouble with the courts, not the public, the courts of Great Britain for teaching a pug to do the Nazi salute. And they basically called him a Nazi sympathizer. Like, up to this day, he is hounded by the mainstream media. He managed to land a gig at the BBC, and then the mainstream media freaked out and made a harassment campaign against him, making sure that he doesn't go there. He was forced by the British government to pay a fine of £1,000 for the grossly offensive joke. And also, I believe BuzzFeed wrote an article calling him a Nazi, and then right after that, YouTube demonetized his channel. So, you know, it's a guy that's quite persecuted for his beliefs. He would be granted political asylum in Hungary, according to Viktor Orban. But that's not the case. This is not why I made the video. What I wanted to point out is that if using the logic, right, that they've used previously, like if you teach a dog to do the Nazi salute, doesn't that, and that makes you a Nazi, doesn't that make him a black supremacist now? Like, if you were to be consistent with the logic that's being applied. I have said last year, I believe, in a video, that if you were to do something similar, if you were to mock feminism, I guess he chose, you know, black supremacy as an ideology to mock now. By getting a dog to raise its paw when you say black power. Well, people would look at it as mockery, right? They would look at it as, what are you doing? Like, why are you dissing this ideology? Why do you treat it with this level of disrespect? But if you do it to the Nazis, that is not mocking. It's actually being a Nazi. You know, I'm pretty sure if you were to go back in time and, you know, when Hitler rose to power, and you would teach a dog how to salute, the Nazis would definitely be appreciated of that. They would definitely give you a medal. They wouldn't have the Gestapo knock at your door for obviously insulting the party's ideology and making a mockery out of their ideological system. No, that definitely wouldn't happen. Not in Nazi Germany. They definitely like people who would get dogs to salute the Führer. Anyone with the common sense like understands what the problem is here. I definitely think like when his video went viral, there were some interest groups that said, we can milk this for a little bit of sympathy, and they didn't expect it to backfire like this. Like, they probably expected that Count Dankula would be, you know, like an actual Nazi and far right person, but in reality, he's not. If you listen to what he believes on a lot of political issues, at least, especially if you're not from Britain, you would see that, no, this is a left-leaning individual. He just wanted to make a joke, and now he's being persecuted for it. It's quite interesting. If you haven't followed the story, by the way, I'll keep you up to date. Apparently, he was supposed to be arrested by now. He was fined £1,000 by the British courts, refused to pay them, and if you do that, you're supposed to go to prison. But apparently, like, the police hasn't arrested him yet. So he was getting a little bit nervous. You know, it's not a good thing to live with the sword of Damocles hanging over your head. So he called the police himself. Like, he called the authorities. He said, look, I'm Mi-chan, and I haven't paid the fine. I'm supposed to be arrested. And the police said, well, you haven't come into our computer database yet. It's like, when your name comes up, then we'll arrest you. And I'm like, what the fuck? How is this a thing? So you're telling me that if I commit a crime in Britain, okay, and I denounce my crime, like I actually, you know, confess, like, look, I did this criminal act, I broke into this person's home, they'll be like, no, like, you know, wait your turn, just wait, chotomate, wait your turn. It's like, what? how is this a thing? You know, for the people that are more inclined into conspiracy theories, which is a code name for assuming the worst of the worst, also a code name for censorship. You're not allowed to assume the worst of the worst of the government. The government is always good then, Kai. What are you talking about? They would say that since Michan actually got involved into UKIP, and Gerard Batten actually said that he might run for Scotland, which, to be honest, I don't think like UKIP managed to get a single person elected in Scotland. But still, you know, it's like, it's his chance to run. Maybe Michan is going to convince the public of his ways. And now people are saying it's like they're going to wait until the elections and then they're going to bring this up. Then they're going to arrest him, so he can't run. This is if you assume the worst of the worst. You know, this is like if you assume ill intent on the part of the government who managed to do this lawsuit to him. Again, like the thing with the lawsuit is that, as I understand, no one actually from the public complained. It was the police that decided to take action. Like, they saw the video and got upset. And what's more interesting about it is that they didn't even allow for him to have a lawyer that's paid by the government. Because, you know, when you're in a criminal court, usually you're given a lawyer if you can't afford one. But the way they thought, it's like, well, hold on a little bit. He's got a girlfriend, right? So we're going to look at his girlfriend income. The girlfriend can pay for a lawyer, but then they also got the girlfriend to testify against him. And you know, like, as a person who finished law school, I'm looking at that and it's like, British people have a very interesting way of doing their trials over there. You know, it's a very innovative, very new way of thinking that people here in Eastern Europe haven't gotten to that part yet. A lot of things to learn from the British legal system. Oh well, I don't know about this video. I think it might be ignored. But if someone is going to point out that he is mocking black people by doing that, like that's going to be the biggest irony, the spiciest ironies of all. You know, because, okay, so if you get a pug that does black power, that's mocking black people. But if you get a pug that, I'm not going to say what he did for algorithmic purposes, as some other YouTubers put it, then you are a Nazi? What? Huh? How does that work? In what world? Let me know what you think. And keep an eye on this channel. Got another video coming up soon.